Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Kabir Considers. Another slightly different video today. We're just having a quick stretch of the legs in the park. It's quite a nice day. It's weird, like the sun is really shining, but it's absolutely freezing. Like if I was from Liverpool, it's fucking freezing. That's how they would say it. Yeah, winter's definitely on the way.
Winter is coming.
So yeah, I just, I was thinking to myself, like I had when you have like a random memory pop into your head, and I just decided, let me make another video, sort of like a few interesting / weird things about America that I saw, while I was there. As most of you guys know, we went to America recently, saw a lot of the place. Well, not a lot of the place, but a good few different amount of cities. And, we saw a lot of things. Some things that, quite familiar with over here. A lot of things really, really different. So, yeah, this should be a little fun video of the, some interesting things that we saw. One thing that I observed was that the fruit, a lot of the fruit that I ate was a lot sweeter. So the strawberries were a lot sweeter, and the apples as well. The apples had a shine to them that they don't really have here. I thought maybe it was wax or something like that, just to make them look a bit more attractive to, the people shopping. The onions as well. The onions were absolutely huge. I actually made a little video in Walmart where I picked up an onion because I was so surprised at how big it was. It literally, I've got quite big hands, and this onion literally was that size, in my palm. So yeah, that was probably the biggest onion I've ever seen in my life. Let me know, in America, is genetically modified crops, is that legal? I'm not sure if it is here, maybe, because that's the only thing I can think of as to why the onions are so much bigger in America. So yeah, let me know if that's the case. But yeah, fruits a lot sweeter, veggies a lot bigger. Another thing I noticed that I may have touched on in another video is I saw a lot more homeless people in New York and California than I do see in London. Is it because the shelters are full? There's not enough, there's not enough beds available. They were everywhere. They were on the street, they were on the subway, they were on the subway platforms, outside restaurants. There were so many, homeless people, so much poverty. And it surprised me because, New York City is such an affluent city. There's so much money there. I think New York City rakes in well over 100 billion just in property taxes. So I just thought to myself, if they were to divert, less than 1% of that, let's say $1 billion a year, into building more homeless shelters and perhaps subsidizing rehab centers to get people off drugs, maybe that could help. Because it was really, really surprising. San Francisco, it really, really shocked us. We stayed in Union Square. When we're in Manhattan, and we were sat with this old American couple, really, really sweet couple, and they told us not to stay in Union Square. They said it was really dangerous. And I wouldn't say it was dangerous, to be honest. I didn't feel unsafe, but there was a lot of poverty there. And again, San Francisco is a place where, Silicon Valley's just down the road. So much money is made there. So I just thought, why is there so much poverty? So yeah, that's one thing. That's another thing that I noticed. That was quite shocking, I have to say. Another thing I have to mention are the Pew Pews. I would say the word, but I've got no problem saying the word. However, YouTube, the algorithm doesn't like it when you say the word GUN. So I'm gonna use the word Pew Pew. When we first landed at New York City, JFK Airport, the amount of weapons on display. There was this group of maybe 3 or 4, I think they were airport security, and they looked like they had enough firepower to invade a country. It was it was insane. They all had these massive cannons as well as multiple pistols. It was just insane. And I really wanted to see what it's like to actually fire a Pew Pew. So we actually found a range in where was this? In LA. Where was it? No, it was in San Francisco, I believe. But they didn't have enough staff to train newbies. They basically would only let us fire if we had previous experience, and neither of us have any experience with Pew Pews. So yeah, it was quite surprising just to see, you know, how like them on display, because obviously here in London, you know, they're not, you don't really see, obviously it's illegal, but there are, you know, criminals that have them. I'm not going to, you know, lie to you and say there's no guns in London, because there definitely are, but they are, you know, you don't see them on a day-to-day. So just landing at JFK and seeing all of them, you know, and the various sizes, it was quite an eye-opener for sure. Another thing I noticed was that sales assistants and waiters in like restaurants, they were way more like attentive, I would describe them. You know, they were like, you know, as soon as you walk into a store, somebody would be like, do you need any help, sir? Do you need any help, ma'am? You know, they would be like, and if you say no, they stay sort of like, if you're like the only person in the store, they'll stay quite close to you. At least that was our experience, just to like be there if we needed anything. You know, I thought it was quite cool. I'm guessing it's part of the American shopping experience where, you know, customer service and tipping kind of go hand in hand. Like, you know, they think that, you know, if they're super attentive, they're more likely to get a tip from you, maybe. So yeah, that was one difference. But yeah, like, kind of leads into another thing, the tipping. You know, it's weird for me, because usually, typically, maybe it's just the British in me, like, I would reserve tipping for like exceptional service, right? Like, so if somebody goes above and beyond, right? Maybe it's my birthday and they arrange a cake for me or something like that. I think, yeah, for sure, that person deserves a tip. But yeah, just having to tip 20-25% regardless, you know, it's still something that I'm getting used to. I think, you know, if that's just the way it's done in America, fair enough. But yeah, it was like just having to automatically attach 25% onto your bill. There was one restaurant that we paid a service charge of 12% and also paid a 20% tip on top of the service charge. So yeah, it's definitely something a little bit different to how things are done here. But, you know, if that's the way things are done, that's the way things are done. Another thing is the sales tax. Like, I get it. Every state has its own sales tax. But why not just, you know, calculate the sales tax of that state before the item leaves its distribution center, and on the tag, just have the total amount, you know, that the customer has to pay. I just think it's way simpler. You know, I don't know. I guess if you're used to, you know, mentally calculating the sales tax, then I guess for you guys, it's you know, it's nothing. But everywhere we would go shopping, you know, we'd think, oh, okay, this is, you know, $10 for this bag of potato chips or whatever. And then we'd get to the till to pay, and it'd be like, oh, okay, that's $12. So we're like, huh? So yeah, I think just having the sales tax on the tag, the total price would be helpful. But yeah, I guess, you know, because the thing is, if the sales tax was the same number throughout the state, then I guess it's easier. But I think different items have different sales taxes. So if you're buying like meat or chicken, that may have a different sales tax to like a clothing item, for example. So yeah, I think just having everything on the tag would be cool. But yeah, another interesting observation. This is quite a funny one. Like, American toilets contain way more water than the ones here. I would say honestly, like 4 times more water. Like, whenever I take a number 2, I'm sorry about this, guys, and you would just hear it just go bloop. And the splashback would be immense. It'd be like if someone was firing like a water pistol up at your... But yeah, the American toilets have way more water. I guess, you know, the advantage, I suppose, of having more water is that the toilet requires washing less, because obviously our waters contain way less water. So if you are taking a deuce, it's more likely going to skid down the side of the toilet and make a mess. Whereas if the toilet's full of water, it's just going to, do you see what I mean? It's going to just like swim to the bottom. But yeah, okay, I'll stop talking about that. But yeah, American toilets have way more water. The final difference I'll talk about is there is a much larger spread of body shapes in America. Like, I saw some really fit people, you know, at the national parks, at Sequoia and Yosemite, some super fit people who clearly work out a lot. But then in the Walmart in Fresno, I saw some absolutely enormous people, like by far the biggest people I've seen in recent memory. Like, I saw one individual, this guy had to be at least, if I had to guess, he had to be over like 600 pounds or something, like really, really, really big guy. You know, the biggest person I've ever seen in London, honestly, in my life was probably around maybe 350, 400 pounds. I remember quite vividly, it was on the bus. I was on my way to school. And yeah, that's the biggest person I'd seen up to that point. So I think, yeah, America, you've got quite a big spread. Like, you've got like super fit people, you know, gym types, CrossFit and all that. And then you've got like, you know, quite like significantly obese people at the other end as well. I don't know why that is. Is there something in American food? Like, you know, maybe because on the chicken, I remember we bought a whole chicken and it said no hormones. So maybe if some of the food has hormones in it, maybe that's causing some of the weight gain. I genuinely don't know. Super curious about it. But yeah, guys, those are some quick differences, some quick, interesting and weird like observations that I had in America. Yeah, I love the trip. Honestly, there's so many more that are coming to my head. I might save it for like a part 2. But yeah, thought it'd be a fun little video to do something different. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.